Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Stygian. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today in Stanley's room. You see Stanley sitting in the dark, looking pale and devoid of his former energy. As annoying as it was, he begins to whisper in a discomforting tone, though you can't place just what it is that's bothering you about his voice. Welcome, sir. Thanks for coming on such short notice. Forgive my threadbare appearance. My studies have left me completely exhausted. Honestly, I ought to rest and recover. But I am all so close to finding a way out. So close, it is worth testing the limits of this shell of flesh and bone. Yeah, I think I can place it very clearly. Also, the getting out here. Also, you told me that you knew of a way in the note that you sent me, and now you are close to finding it. This is the way out you mentioned before? I'm gonna ask. Precisely. It is past time I leave this filthy nest of apes behind me forever, but as you can see, my ill health won't allow me to complete my work. I also have serious doubts that my current assistant is resourceful enough to aid me in the last stage of this process. Oh, what are all these machines? I thought your interest was in folklore. Those things over there. Knowledge takes many shapes, my friend. You will learn many things when we are on our way to the stars. I'm purposely not asking you the correct questions here, but you need my help first, right? See what I mean? I need quick reasoning and a practical mind like yours to finish the job. Help me complete my work and you will accompany me, the only other person privileged to do so, far away from this whirlpool of primal vibrations. Okay. This is indeed a very quick turnabout from somebody who was just interested in folklore and stuff. Yeah, I think he got possessed by one of the tales. Actually, I probably should read the book and see which tale or what possessed him. So what are you planning to get us out of here? I won't bore you with the details, with the highly technical specifics. Just know that my connections allow me to discover ways beyond the borders of man's limited science. If you knew what they have taught me about our universe. Who are these connections? You'll meet them when we're ready to leave, don't worry. Okay, tell me what you need to do. What I need to do. Right to the point, I like that. A few essential parts are needed to complete my research. A long-wave radio transmitter, an electrical conductor, and some formaldehyde. These items are the last thing standing between us and infinity. Infinity? When I close my eyes, I can feel it calling to us. Let's go, Stanley. Unfortunately, you have to do this part on your own. My friend Richter at the drugstore would be a good place to start. Debauched he may be, but he seems to have the skills to aid us in this final phase. Don't die before we finish the job, Stanley. You worry about the task at hand. My illness dictates that I rest now. We'll talk more later, my friend. I don't know if you're my friend. Also, the game just saved. The Whisper in the Darkness. Why is it called like that? Finding formaldehyde. Yes. Many findings. Okay, so we need to go to Richter for both of these, and I need to ask around for a conductor part. A conductor part? That is not what was called for, or was called of us, or asked of us. Where would I get one? Though, anything that conducts, you think like a normal cable would work. So you could steal cables from anywhere. Although the street lamps would probably still be gas or something like that. Okay, let me... middle click. No, we're not doing it. Right click doesn't work. I didn't do it middle click. So, let's see. We could go in there. We're not gonna go in there. This is Richter's store. No, it's not. It's not at Richter's store. Richter is in the street next to the east. I'll still come here because, well, a conductor might be found over here. I don't think it will, because I couldn't ask for it. So, let's see what I can sell. We have a light bulb. What? This bulky denizen brand light bulb will provide bright, low-cost, and long-lasting illumination when mounted in an electrical socket. Why is it low cost? What makes it low cost? The lamp is a lamp. You can't make it any lower cost than it is. You're not going to make it out of matchsticks. Okay, so... yeah, we're not going to buy anything here. Let me look at the conductors here. If there are any. Oh, look at that. Actual Kingsport folk tales over here being sold normally. Needle and thread. Yeah, it's probably not going to be found like this. We're going to need to, we're going to need to just ask for it. Because that's what the quest says. Ask around. So the kids on the east side might know. I imagine Richter is not going to have both things. Because it's sort of a fetch quest, but it's not really. It's a good thing that it isn't. Well, at least I hope so. That it isn't. Because the, because just a simple fetch quest is as boring as it gets. This, on the face of it, might be a fetch quest. There's Richter's store. But it isn't because we don't know where to go, where to get things. Okay, there's nothing in these things. What happened? Is my sanity okay? I think my sanity is okay. Just going up slowly. How can old Richter help you with your needs? Do you know where I can find a radio transmitter? A transmitter? It won't be easy to find such a delicate machine in Arkham. I would try the French Hill streets, though. I've heard a man called Dumitrescu resides there. I know that surname. If he's the person I think he is, that man may be your best bet. What about formaldehyde? Do you have any? Formaldehyde? What are you planning to preserve? A lifeless fetus, perhaps? Forget it. Who am I to question others' questionable pursuits? The truth is, I don't have any formaldehyde. It's a bit out of my field. You'd think it isn't, because it is a... formaldehyde can be used as a drug as well. Well, derivative, I think. Formaldehyde is... yeah, it can be used to preserve things. It also is used on corpses. To preserve the corpses. For ceremonial things and stuff like that. Not anymore, though, because it's highly carcinogenic. And these days we use different things, I think. Do you know where I can get some? Let's see. The main component of formaldehyde turns out to be methyl alcohol. There should be a pretty high methyl alcohol output at the distillery because of that charlatan wheat's crude distilling methods. So if you can get me the methyl alcohol from the mob's distillery, I guess I can make you some formaldehyde, for a price, of course. And at last I can preserve my dead fetuses in the back decently. At last I can decently preserve my dead fetuses in the back. Just joking. Or am I? Yeah, you're just joking. I don't know where you'd get your dead fetuses. Where's this distillery? It's to the east of to the east of Riverside. Let me show you it on your map. Absolutely. Who is this wheat you mentioned? A drunk fraud who pretends to be the distiller of the mob. I've heard that his own whiskey brand was third class at best, even before the Black Day. You can guess how primitive and graceless his products are now. Yep, I'll be back with your methyl alcohol for your fetuses. Let's see what you have in stock, because I might want to buy a swimming mask. And the reason why I want to buy that is because somebody pointed out in the comments, actually, oh, Cornelius's watch. So I just sell this? Yes, I do just sell this. It's because, well, the mob might recognize me. They didn't recognize me yet, at least I hope not. But, yeah, so I'll get that. Do you sell these things? Nerve toxic. Or not toxic. So shift for 2. Yeah, I'll take 2. Sort that. We're still making money out of that. Very nice. And I'll see you later, I suppose. Very good. Okay, and so that means we need to go outside of the map. So he asked specifically about those 2 things. But not about the conductor. I have no idea how I'm gonna get the conductor. The kids won't talk to me. the mob in here. I mean, there could be something in there. Down below. Hey, excuse me. Nah, there's nothing gonna happen here. Yeah. That's gonna be that, isn't it? No conductor. French Hill. That's where we are. Yeah, French Hill. So here we might be able to get the other thing, the radio transmitter. What was it about the radio transmitter? Oh, House 17. He didn't say any of that. He did not say House 17. To make it through. Oh, clicked outside of the screen. Oh, interesting that I could even click outside of the screen. The game locks the mouse up. But I did. So that's not House 17. That's House 17. I mean, I assume it's House 17. Let's just check this over here. So we could... It might be that there's something down below. So is this House 17? There's a number over there, and I do not believe it looks like a 17. I'm looking for a radio transmitter and a conductor. I've been told you might be able to help. After a few seconds, a buzzing sound foretells the door being automatically unlocked. It is surprising to see working technology in this ruined town. Technology here used in a way that is... well, certainly not historically correct, but also not correct? Because everything is technology, right? We can ascertain that. Like any method of construction or any type of material that's artificially made and all that sort of stuff, that's all technology. Let's go inside. But technology, the word technology has assumed a different meaning these days to be a shorthand for information technology, which is, you know, computers and cell phones and all that sort of stuff. Oh. Yeah, we can't craft here. So it's just not... That wasn't... No, it isn't surprising to see technology. Laborious humming resounds from these decks, stacked with the strange devices with which Dumitrescu carries out his experiments. All of the tools that are hanged up on this wall are frequently put to work, as evidenced by the abundance... Is evinced? Sure. By the abundance of grease and fingerprints that seem to be smeared all over them, as well as the degree of wear they have so rigorously sustained. Laborious humming comes from the machines, but I can't do anything there. Dumitrescu uses this chart to scrutinize the frequency range and decibel level of his instruments. This is where Dumitrescu spends most of his time, tinkering with his elementary instruments, though whose indicators seem to peak at irregular intervals. I'm sure they do. And what's left of natural light in Arkham's new minaceous habitat, I don't actually know what that means, percolates meagerly through these drapes. Turning his back to the dismal sight that's so hopelessly prevalent, Dumitrescu tediously tries to occupy himself in this Stygian dimension. That's the video game. That's the video game in the single line. Anyway, we're reloading because, of course, we have wasted a bunch of time, and I don't want to have tired. I don't want to lose sanity because I'm tired. That's actually really annoying. I wish the game was in real time. Because it isn't. You know what I mean in real time? Like Fallout is, not like Fallout 3 is, where it's all sped up. You see a middle-aged man with a strong aura of intelligence and discipline sitting next to some sophisticated radio machinery. He looks devoured by the effort he puts into these contraptions. May I ask who you are? I am Hamilton Bottomworth. All right, Hamilton Bottomworth. The only reason I am allowing you to interrupt my work is that you've excited my attention with your rather interesting request. I thought he was going to say my interesting name. Would you care to elaborate? I'm on a very important mission to save the world. Myself. And those parts, they are my ticket First class. Is that so? Are you a man of science, Hamilton Bottomworth? No, but it is my best bet. I see. Many people out there have invented pitiful things simply to have something to hold on to. I apologize, but what I am doing here has real value to us all. Will you help me with the parts? Very well, sir. Your direct approach also suits the constrained time frame of my work. I may have a spare conductor on hand, but the radio transmitter is another story. A story that I may also have a role in. Would you care to elaborate? I placed an order for some radio equipment and other electrical parts not long before the event I now describe as a planar shift. After the disaster, I was as frightened and depressed as any other resident of this lonely town, but eventually my desire to continue my work helped me recover. Perhaps sensing it was my last resort, I returned to the lab. After some initial measurements and tests, I knew I was on to something. I knew that I was on the cusp of a discovery that could help us all. But just like you, I found myself in need of radio parts. What happened next almost cost me my life. Let me guess, a disagreement with the mob? No, not at all. I headed for the Marsh warehouse. I knew that my shipment had to be in there someplace. It was the early days of Waxface Rise, and the chaos in the streets gave me the cover I needed to enter undetected. There were things inside. Creatures straight out of the folktales of my childhood. Varkolak beast people. After I had nearly lost my arm to one of the monsters, I decided to leave the shipment where it was. I cannot complete this important work without myself, after all. You see what I mean? Yeah. A good rifle could have solved your animal problems. They were feral and vicious beasts, that's true, but they also had certain traits which were... He struggles to find the right word. Disgustingly human. There was a distinctly sinister consciousness in their eyes. Then the transmitter is still there? I heard that the warehouse was sealed, so in theory, yeah. If you can somehow survive the Varkolak, you will find my shipment. He hands you the bill of delivery. This will help you locate the crate. You are free to help yourself to the transmitter, but please bring me the remaining components. They are crucial to my effort here. Absolutely. Where's the Marsh warehouse? It's in the Riverside district. An old brick building. You won't miss it, I'm sure. Another thing. I may lose the signal any moment now. Please make it quick. What are you working on? I'm sorry, sir, but it would take too much of my precious time to explain to a novice. Just know that my work may prove crucial to all of us. Oh, I'm impressed. I'd love to hear more about your work. Since you're so interested, he looks tiredly but proudly at his radio equipment, I've been working on a new long-wave radio. I began this undertaking long before the Black Day. I was producing my own 300-watt spark transmitters instead of the regular 250, and experimenting with batteryless receivers. Groundbreaking concepts far beyond the capacity of that thug Dennison. At the thought of this man Dennison, his voice briefly turns to a snarl. That! Dumitrescu gets himself under control. He is the reason I am here. You mean the Dennison? Of the Dennison Company? Wait a minute. The light. The lamp that we saw this very episode had that name. Hearing the name definitely enrages him. The very same bastard! Begotten by his mother on filthy sunflower seeds. This must mean something terrible in his home country. Which apparently is in America, as we have now realized. Okay. He comes to his senses again. That man stole my invention after enticing me into a partnership. I can't believe I trusted that Bulangio. Yeah, I don't know what this is. This does not sound Italian. Although, could be. Because his name is sort of Italianish. And Yes, what I was gonna say. It makes sense that there's a lot of immigrants in here. It is the 20s, after all, so America was just full of immigrants from all over Europe and the world in general. While I was busy improving the prototype, he says, he was stealing the patent behind my back. Oh, I see. Did you take him to court? I did. But he was the great Dennison, respected businessman. And who am I? A strange fella with a foreign surname. Graduate of the University of Lashy. Yeah, I have no idea what that is, mate. I'm sorry. To avoid becoming a murderer, I decided to get away from the accursed patent laws and come to New England, far from Dennison's grasp. I started working on a newer, better prototype, a much superior model that would transmit and receive signals across great distances. I was working round the clock, like in a fever, when the disaster struck. He is silent for a few seconds. Everything was ruined. The world had no meaning anymore, nothing, until I heard the signal, a thunderous frequency like some unknown entity trying to communicate with me. It was clear that this was a message. Soon I made an even more surprising discovery. The signal wasn't coming from anywhere in Arkham. It was coming from beyond. Beyond? Like the beyond? That I hear the voices from? My radio was receiving signals from another dimension, meaning I had a chance to communicate with the world we were separated from. If I can discover the source of the signal and extend my search range, I can further modify the spectrometer, and we can establish contact with the world. Do you mean our world? Because we're in another dimension right now. How do you know the world still exists? That's a good question. Dumitrescu looks you in the eye. At least I would know for certain, one way or another. His attention returns to the surrounding gadgets. So, can we trade? I rarely have the chance to expand my inventory these days. This is assuming you have some interesting electrical parts to trade. I have screws. Those are not electrical. I have copper wires, though. That serves as conductor. What do we have over here? Ammunition. Can I do that? Can we craft? Ooh, we need to level up. I just committed myself to leveling up. Just then. Okay, well, I guess I'm doing that. Let's see. Let's bring our subterfuge up. Let's bring our firearms up. And that's going to be that. Our speech is going to be left behind. Alertness for extra reaction. Better criticals for extra critical chance. Cold-blooded over here. Let's see. Clarity for maximum sanity. Increases panic resistance. If current sanity is less than half, gain 1 mental resistance. Cold-headed there. And the same for health on Die Hard. Dodger for extra physical defense. Faithful for holy items in the inventory. Requires divine? I don't have that. Look at that requirement that shows over there. You see that? It's weird. Heavy hitter, hoarder. If a jewelry is equipped, mental resistance is increased. Luck of the totem. No. Medic 1. Shadow. Wearing a mask increases stealth value by 1. Actually, that's pretty good. I didn't see the rest, though. I need to see the rest. Stabber. Increases reaction. Yep. Shadow it is. Sounds like a fun time. And it... Well, the Outsider is leveling up as well. So the Outsider has the Occult, which I am going to go up on. He's also got Medicine, which also I'm going to go up on. Aura of Repulsion. Hollow Touch. And Wrath of Isolation. Aura of Repulsion, then. And Sonia also has a level up. So she has firearms over there. And actually, survival is pretty important. She also has investigation. Bleed immunity, physical defense. Screech deals moderate sanity damage to the enemy surrounding Sonia, and uses a portion of her health. And also Spectral Hand. Sonia deals serious physical damage at the cost of her health. No. Do not do that. Just make sure she doesn't die too much. So how is our sanity? Our sanity is not looking too good. What I came here to do was precisely to see if we had things like crafting. That would be science. Yeah, I'm very bad, so I don't need to buy the thing. Do you have any idea about the origin of those bestial creatures? I knew this was an old town full of imaginary ghouls and ghosts. I saw the Arkham witch trials, after all. I myself grew up in a pretty superstitious country, so I can relate to the sentiment. But seeing these things in the flesh, he fiddles anxiously with the dial on one of his machines, it's hard for a rational man to accept the monsters from fairy tales actually do exist. Yeah, beyond the borders of the known, life can take surprising forms. Forms in which I am entirely uninterested. I advise you to be extremely cautious if you're thinking about a closer look. That's a fair attitude to have, for sure. So we're not going to buy any of that. We'd also have a magnet over here and a conductor. Wait, that's the conductor? I'm not actually sure what conductor means. I mean, I know what it means. It's the person that conducts the big group of people that play the instruments in the orchestra. What's it called? I don't know what it is, but it's the conductor. And there's a conductor with going around. And there's the end of the episode as well, because we're out of time for the day. So for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Stygian. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.